Well, the wait is over. Tennessee has found a transfer portal quarterback. But how are we feeling about this? A lot of mixed reviews. Ryan Staub going to be involved.
You are Locked On Vols, your daily podcast on the Tennessee Volunteers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good Monday morning, everybody. Welcome into a brand new week. And with that, a lot has gone on over the weekend regarding Tennessee football and the transfer portal. And we are going to get all to it right here today. Ryan Staub, transfer portal quarterback, a Colorado teammate, also transferred in. 5 commits via the transfer portal on Saturday, so a total of 7 this weekend. A disastrous Tennessee basketball loss, a collapse, if you will. Loads and loads to get into here on a Monday Locked On Vols. I'm your host, Cain. Thanks so much for being here, making Locked On Vols part of your morning routine, your first listen, your first watch each and every single morning. We are a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team every single day, the #1 sports podcasting network available. And today's episode is presented by the great people over at FanDuel Sportsbook, where the college football playoffs are here. FanDuel is the best place to get in on all the action. Visit FanDuel.com to get your college football playoff profit boost every game day tonight, right here at FanDuel. Also, quickly want to give a shout out to the Everydayer Club. A couple of members have been joining in. Appreciate you guys. Hey, just $5 a month, all right? You get access to ad-free audio version of Locked On Vols, compatible with Apple Podcasts, any major podcasting platform out there as well. You get an invite to a members-only Locked On Vols group chat, Everydayer Club Discord server, which features chats from national topics to other Locked On shows. But I've been in it all weekend long. Been asking you guys a whole lot of questions for tomorrow's mailbag edition of the show. I'm going to prioritize those questions in the Locked On group chat. If you join us in the Everydayer Club, I'll answer those first. But again, send those in at _Cain or at Locked On Vols as well. But come join us. I've been in it all weekend long. It's been fun trying to build that thing up. That is the Everydayer Club, and you can join that at lockedonvols.supercast.com. lockedonvols.supercast.com. $5 a month, lots of perks. That is the Everydayer Club. All right, so Tennessee has found its quarterback via the transfer portal. Full disclosure here, I had already recorded this episode, so we are going to put my editing skills to the test. So there were parts of this episode later on that I actually filmed hours before that were originally in segment 1 that I moved to segment 3, and I took a section out because, you know, there's a lot of uncertainty regarding some of the topics I'm talking about right now. So I took a whole portion out. I moved back half of segment number 1 to segment number 3. So we're going to put my editing skills to the test, if you will. So if there's something out of place or something sounds a little weird, I do apologize, having to do a whole lot of construction on this episode, but it's because Ryan Staub did commit to the University of Tennessee on Sunday afternoon. He is a quarterback from Colorado, primarily a reserve, primarily a backup. And a lot of people are just unhappy about that. A lot of people just don't quite understand it. And, hey, man, it's valid. It's valid. My job is not to sit here and pump sunshine. My job is also not to sit here and just criticize every single move the University of Tennessee makes. I think it was abundantly clear that Tennessee wanted a starter. Tennessee evaluated the field. Realistic options. Well, Sorsby didn't think that was realistic. Okay. Josh Heupel was discussed a little bit, but they went all in on Sam Leavitt, put a competitive offer out there. Members of Sam Leavitt's camp wanted him in Knoxville. Sam Leavitt ultimately chose LSU. Okay, he's gone. The only other quarterback you had brought to campus at that point was Bo Pribula, former Missouri starting quarterback, who transferred to Virginia on Monday of last week. And Tennessee just kind of felt like that wasn't the right fit, so didn't really push hard for that one. But then there was no talk about a quarterback until Saturday, when my coworker Austin Price of VolQuest.com reports that Ryan Staub of Colorado would take a visit to Tennessee, and he did that on Sunday, committed on Sunday, and now here's where we are. So I think it was abundantly clear Tennessee wanted a starter at quarterback, but once that ship had sailed, the last couple of days it was, okay, well, no matter what, you need to bring in somebody to come in and compete, and it's going to be a full-fledged quarterback competition with that somebody, George MacIntyre and Faizon Brandon. A lot of people, too, sitting here, and I'll get to Staub here in just a moment, I promise, but are saying, well, it was always the plan to have George MacIntyre and or Faizon Brandon duke it out for the starting quarterback job because Nico Iamaleava was supposed to stay last year. He was supposed to ball out, and the plan was for him to go to the NFL. And then you step in for George for a year, then Faizon, or Faizon comes in and wins the job outright or whatever. That was always the plan, but I just like the Georgia game in football, even though you lost that game kind of changed expectations throughout the season. It was, oh, Joey Aguilar threw for over 400 or threw for almost 400 yards, 5 total touchdowns. Tennessee can beat anybody in the country despite losing on a field goal you should have made or 17 different stops on that last possession, it felt like, on 3rd and 4th down and a 2-point conversion that you just couldn't get a stop. But that game changed expectations, just like Joey Aguilar came in, getting in here in mid-May, leading the SEC in passing, kind of changed expectations on that thought for some people. So I get it. I get where you guys are if you're frustrated. I get where you guys are if you say, well, this was the plan altogether. But I do personally kind of question, okay, well, there should have been more options. There should have been more guys come on campus, so you didn't almost have to kind of scramble at the end. And that's what it kind of felt like, at least in my opinion, kind of scrambling at the end. So here's where we are. Tennessee will have a quarterback competition. We'll see ultimately what happens with Joey Aguilar eventually. Caleb Jarrow, friend of the program, Maryville Daily Times, Maryville Daily Times, what they used to call it, reported on Sunday afternoon that a preliminary injunction court date has been set for February the 10th. Again, I still think it's the longest of long shots, but Joey Aguilar, again, could be an option down the line if he was granted immediate injunction and he and those types of players could be eligible to play. But that's not even what we're thinking about right now. Here's what we do know. Faizon Brandon Son, incoming 5-star quarterback, one of the top players in the country. George MacIntyre is a redshirt freshman, going to be stepping up, and he has the most experience in the offense. He has a year in the system, a year in the strength and conditioning program, and now you throw in Ryan Staub. Ryan Staub from Colorado, primarily a reserve, 6'1", 200 pounds. He appeared in 5 games in 2025, starting against Houston in Week 3, where he accounted for 204 yards with a touchdown, 2 interceptions. He went 19 of 35 passing. On the season in 2025, Staub threw for 427 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4 picks, 19 carries, 30 yards, 1 touchdown. As a redshirt freshman in 2024, he backed up Shadir Sanders, so he appeared in 4 games, pretty much attempted only 4 pass attempts, didn't play hardly at all. He appeared in 3 games as a true freshman in 2023 with 1 start against Utah, and in that game, he completed 17 of 24 passes, 195 yards, and a touchdown. That touchdown was completed to Travis Hunter. So you're getting a guy that at least he's going to be going on year 4 of being a college quarterback, okay? Not in this system, but he's been in a collegiate strength and conditioning and nutrition program already for 3 years, okay? He has been battle-tested a little, not a whole lot, not going to sugarcoat it, not a whole lot, but he has started games in Power 4 realm before. So he will come in, he will compete with George MacIntyre and Faizon Brandon. That's what we know now. Tennessee had to have a quarterback. It got a quarterback, and that being Ryan Staub. So I would love to hear from you guys. You can make it a part of your mailbag edition of the show tomorrow. Do you love it? Do you hate it? What are your frustrations? Let's hear it. Put in the Discord channel, @_Cain or @LockedOn Vols. Comment on this YouTube channel. What do you guys make of Tennessee landing on Ryan Staub of Colorado, its quarterback out of the transfer portal? Would love to hear from you guys. We'll continue to break down the quarterback edition on the shows ahead. We got a lot to get into today, but we'll continue to break down the quarterback edition on the shows ahead. One more thing we're going to hit on in segment number 1 before we get to the slew, that being 5 commits that locked in with Tennessee on Saturday from the transfer portal. His teammate from Colorado, Isaiah Hardge. Tennessee now has 18 total commitments, by the way. Isaiah Hardge jumped in the boat about an hour before Staub did on Sunday. He is interesting, a former two-way player, right? Started his career as a wide receiver, played a little bit of wide receiver along with cornerback, which he's coming here to play defense for Tennessee. Also returns kicks, so a little bit of everything. Played 3 seasons at Colorado, redshirted in 2023 as a true freshman. Appeared in 23 games, 1 start, combined for 20 tackles, 1 TFL, 1 fumble recovery. 97 defensive snaps in 2025, 16 defensive snaps in 2024. He's 5'10", 170 pounds, a former 3-star athlete out of Hollywood, Florida. He also spent time again on the offense side of the football where he began his collegiate career, rolled in 6 career receptions for 76 yards. He appeared on offense a little bit in 2025, 5 catches for 37 yards, and again has been used as a returner. Clearly this is a depth piece. He is the 7th secondary member added from this class. And we'll go over, again, the quarterback. We'll go over the entire transfer portal class because there are 18 of them so far. But Tennessee did need another body back there. Got a versatile guy that can play a little nickel, can play corner, and that's Isaiah Hardge of Colorado. So a busy day on Sunday. it was a busy day on Saturday. We're going to get into those transfer portal commits from Saturday. There were 5 of them. And then at the very end of the show, we'll talk about the just frustrating total collapse of Tennessee basketball on Saturday to Kentucky. A lot going on. Had to do a little bit of construction on this episode. Hope it's okay. Hope it flows all right. We got plenty more coming up right here on Locked On Vols. The college football playoff is here, and FanDuel is giving all customers even more ways to get in on the action every single game day of the playoffs. Because right now, every college football playoff game, FanDuel users get a profit boost waiting for them in the app. Here's what I love about it. You get the profit boost, you get to use the profit boost on bets that you already feel pretty certain about, right? Or I wouldn't say certain, but you feel good about it. You ride the favorite when you think the team controls the matchup, take a shot on the underdog if you feel an upset is brewing, or you can build a parlay around the players and the moments that you think will decide the game. Then you apply the profit boost, you can go even bigger winnings. You can pull in even bigger winnings. When you win, FanDuel pays you out instantly, so that's perfect for playoff football. FanDuel is the best place to get in all the action this playoff season long. So visit FanDuel.com to get your college football playoff boost every single game day, plus basketball season is happening right now. Get those futures in, college basketball, NBA, all that and more. But tonight, get it in for the college football playoff profit boost every game day right here on FanDuel Sportsbook. Hey, I want to thank you guys so much for making Locked On Vols your first listen, your first watch of the day, and thank you for making Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcasting network available. If you haven't already, go check out our new Everydayer Club. Access to ad-free audio feed for Locked On Vols, compatible with Apple Podcasts, Spotify, every other major podcasting app. An invite to members-only Locked On Everydayer Club Discord server, which includes a group chat just for listeners of the show. I've been active in that all weekend long. And again, I'm accepting questions for the mailbag. I will prioritize those in the chat first for tomorrow's show. Again, I encourage you to go check that out. Just $5 a month. And the specific URL that you can sign up for the Locked On Vols Everydayer Club, that is LockedOnVols.supercast.com. LockedOnVols.supercast.com. Just $5 a month. You get awesome perks, and you can chat with us in the Discord channel, taking mailbag questions and talking about pretty much anything else. The Locked On Florida host is in there talking a little trash on Saturday, and I had to put him in his place. But come on in there and help me out. That's the Locked On Everydayer Club at LockedOnVols.supercast.com. All right, so Tennessee went on a run in the transfer portal on Saturday. 5 commits in the transfer portal on Saturday. Hosted 5 more prospects on campus on Sunday, and maybe there'll be some movement in that later on Sunday evening and tonight. We'll have to see. But ultimately, Tennessee did a pretty good job of reeling in some priority positional gets. I'm not going to sit here and try to say, okay, we got Heisman Trophy winners, because that's just not true. But Tennessee needed another safety. Tennessee needed another corner. Tennessee needed a running back. Tennessee needed a tight end. Tennessee had all those needs. And in one day, Tennessee got another one. So mission accomplished in that regard. And I think there's some high upside for a lot of these guys. We'll break down the 5 transfer portal commits from Saturday and look ahead to some guys who are on who are on campus on Sunday as well as we continue on here in the show. We'll start with Appalachian State safety DJ Burks, and we'll start with him because he is a local prospect from Maryville High School. I love this, okay? Won a state championship at Maryville as a sophomore. Obviously, if you live in Tennessee and you follow high school at all, you know about Maryville College. If you live in East Tennessee, you know a lot about Maryville College and Alcoa and so on and so forth. If you live in Blount County or Knox County, oh yeah, you can't escape it. Maryville College and going through a coaching change here recently as well. Maryville College is run like a collegiate program for the most part. So they do such a fantastic job over the years. George Quarles, Coach Hunt, now Coach Cobble are going to do a fantastic job. But DJ Burks played for Maryville, won a state title, went on scholarship to Appalachian State, played 3 or 4 years, whatever it is. I'll look at my notes here in a second. And now it's coming back home to play at the University of Tennessee. I love that story. Going from 85 to 105 scholarship opens the door for more players and more stories like this in DJ Burks, in my opinion. I'm not saying he wouldn't have been a take at the 85 limit. I'm just saying now it very much opens the door for more guys like him or Deshaun Bishop, who was originally a walk-on, and we see how well that's turned out for Deshaun Bishop. DJ Burks, his career, 73 tackles, 2 interceptions. In 40 games, the DB has totaled 133 tackles. Excuse me, that was 2025. 73 tackles and 2 picks was in 2025. In 40 career games at Appalachian State, he totaled 133 tackles, 4 TFLs, 2 picks, while defending 7 passes, forcing 2 fumbles. He redshirted in 2022, played in 2 games. He'll have 1 year of eligibility remaining. He's 6 foot, 200 pounds, logged 600 snaps in 2025, 473 snaps the year before. As the primary defender in coverage as a safety, he allowed 3 touchdowns, picked off 2 passes, and broke up 4 passes throughout his career. So that's DJ Burks. Talking about guys you got via the transfer portal, that being DeJuan Lane from Penn State and some other safeties we'll get to here in a moment. TJ Metcalf. Again, DJ Burks is just another guy to come in and compete and give you some depth and give you some experience depth that you haven't had on your roster in quite some time at that position. So, at least behind the starters. So that's DJ Burks, one of the commits for Tennessee via Appalachian State and Marable College. We'll go to Trent Thomas. Tennessee needed a tight end once Jack Van Dorselaer entered the portal, and I think he committed to Oklahoma. When you leave Tennessee, I don't really pay attention. That's no disrespect to the player. it's not really my job anymore. But I think he committed to Oklahoma. Jason Witten, tight ends coach. Interesting connection there. South Alabama, tight end Trent Thomas. Trent Thomas, if I could put this in terms that I think we would understand together, kind of like in terms of usage in his past, very much like a Miles Kitselman coming in here to Tennessee. I'm not saying he's just a body. Tennessee needed a body for sure. But Miles Kitselman was a special teams guy and or a blocking tight end in junior college at Alabama and all that before he got to Tennessee. Trent Thomas, throughout his career, doesn't have many stats in terms of receiving. He is 6'5", weighs 250 pounds, from Mobile, Alabama, so he stayed home, went to South Alabama for his first 3 collegiate seasons. He redshirted in 2023. He's played in 26 games. He has 5 receptions for 39 yards, so clearly he's not a receiving guy. Used mainly for his physicality in the lineup, which is very much what Jack Van Dorselaer brought to this lineup and 12 personnel and all that. He logged 402 total snaps in 2025 and 282 snaps in 2024. He will have 2 years of eligibility remaining. So just like Miles Kitselman's repertoire grew when he got to Tennessee, I'm intrigued to see what Trent Thomas can do as well. But a guy that can line up, he's physical, and a lot of people just kind of saying, well, he didn't catch the football. What a bummer move and all that. I mean, the tight end position is so critical in this offense. You've got to be able to do everything. And you've got to be able to block. You've got to be able to line up in the backfield as an H-back. Hand in the dirt or turf on the line. Split out in the slot. Split out wide to the numbers. I mean, Trent Thomas is going to have to do all that type of stuff. So Tennessee needed a tight end. Tennessee got a tight end in Trent Thomas. And one more that I'll get to before we hit the reset and we talk some more commits and the latest of Arion Carter, I will discuss is Tulane running back Javin Gordon. I like this guy. I do. I'm going to save him because there's more to talk about with him. I'll save him for segment number 3. I'll get in Tevis Metcalf here as we conclude segment number 2. Tevis Metcalf, if you know the name Metcalf, well, DK Metcalf, National Football League. Also, TJ Metcalf, who was a transfer portal commit from Michigan last week. Well, Tevis is his younger brother, also coming from Michigan. He's 5'10", 200 pounds. He's a defensive back, can play a little bit of everything. Safety, star, corner. Primarily still young in his development, okay? He played 2 games last year for Michigan. He logged 17 defensive snaps on special teams. He's played in every game on special teams where he logged 60 snaps. Expected to have a big role for the Vols kicking game as well. His brother, Tevis signed originally with Arkansas out of high school, and then the 2 transferred to Michigan ahead of the 2025 season, and now the 2 are transferring to Tennessee ahead of the 2026 season. So, again, not a whole lot of stats here. He registered 3 tackles, 1 forced fumble for the Wolverines in 2025. Can play a little bit of everything. I'll be intrigued to see kind of where they position him in the defensive backfield. Wanting to stay with his brother, more experience, And another body to the room, that is Tevis Metcalf, who both Tevis and TJ camped. I remember covering those camps, those prospect camps with Tennessee many years ago. So I remember seeing them here on campus, and now they're back on campus to hopefully finish their collegiate careers. That is Tevis Metcalf, another defensive back commit for the University of Tennessee. We got more coming up. There's another offensive lineman that committed. There is another running back that committed. We'll discuss those when we return right here on your Monday morning. Locked On Vols. Stay tuned. We got plenty more to get into and plenty more transfer portal news to discuss. Tax season doesn't have to take over your life. This year, TurboTax is making it easier than ever to just hand things off and move on with your day. With TurboTax Full Service, you can have your taxes done for you by a trusted local expert, start to finish, without the stress or the guesswork. There's nothing worse than guessing when you're doing your taxes. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out forms, you can meet with a local TurboTax expert in person, or you can connect online. They handle everything from W-2s to self-employed forms. Those are the worst, I can speak from experience, and work to get you every deduction possible. You can upload your documents, go about your day, and get updates right in the TurboTax app. It's a huge time saver and gives you real peace of mind knowing an expert is handling it all. I mean, the best thing I ever did was have someone handle my taxes for me, because mine are a headache. And the great people at TurboTax can do that for you. For a limited time, you can have your taxes done by a local TurboTax expert for just $150, all in, if a TurboTax expert didn't file for you last year. Just file by February 28th. That's a really good deal right there. Again, $150 all in if TurboTax expert didn't file for you last year. Just file by February 28th. Take taxes off the plate and take back your life. Visit TurboTax.com/local to book your appointment today. So Tennessee football went on a run in the transfer portal on Saturday, bringing in 5 commits. They had 5 more on campus on Sunday. This one's been working for a while. This one, I don't want to say it's been in the boat for a while, but this one's been trending in Tennessee's direction for a good long while. That is Tulane running back Javin Gordon. 5'10", 200 from Toccoa, Georgia. He played his freshman season at Tulane, where he recorded 516 yards on 128 carries with 5 touchdowns. He also had 13 catches for 93 yards and a touchdown on the year. His best day for the Green Wave was a 15-carry, 78-yard, 3-touchdown performance against Tulsa. He averaged 4 yards per carry, logged up 418 snaps on offense this year, with a season-high 49 snaps against East Carolina. His Pro Football Focus grade in 2025 was 72.7, which was really good, and he has 3 years of eligibility remaining. Remember, Deshaun Bishop is your starting running back. Your 1A to the 1B, maybe that's Gordon. Maybe the B is Dwan Morris. Who knows? Tennessee needed a running back body because you lost Star Thomas. You lost Peyton Lewis to the transfer portal. Star Thomas graduated. And Javin Gordon's a guy that's already been splitting carries, coming into a backfield where you will split carries, and already knowing there's already a top dog in Deshaun Bishop, who's a 1,000-yard rusher and a second-team All-SEC guy. So we'll talk more about the running backs and how Tennessee needs to take a step next year running the football, because statistically, though Deshaun Bishop had a great year individually, Tennessee as a team didn't run the football as effectively as it has the other years under Josh Heupel's regime. Still over 2,200 yards rushing, which is really good, but not as good as what it was in years prior. So we'll talk about that at a later date, but I like Gordon to pick up from Tulane. I think he can add a lot. And then the final one, which was actually the first edition on Saturday morning, was offensive lineman Donovan Haslam from West Virginia. Kind of a swing guy, can play guard, can play tackle. He had 444 snaps last year for West Virginia, the 2025 season. This year, last year, whatever. He played left guard primarily and saw some action at right guard and at left tackle. Haslam started 5 games for the Mountaineers, saw action in 10 games overall. He had 3 years of experience at Austin Peay before making the move to Morgantown. His Pro Football Focus grade for the season was 61.7. He logged a total of 1,205 snaps throughout his career, and he will have 1 year of eligibility remaining. Remember, a swing guy was something that Tennessee was seeking in the transfer portal, a guy like Jesse Perry. They could play guard, tackle, flip-flop sides, and all that. But then once Lance Hurd into the portal and Bennett Warren into the portal, you had to go get a tackle. At least an experienced tackle, sure, but at least a guy that you thought could come in and be your starting right tackle next year. And that's what Ori Williams of LSU is, a guy that didn't play an awful lot of football for LSU as a redshirt freshman last year, but a guy that the staff thinks can come in here and step in and be a day one starter. So we'll see what happens there. But Tennessee still needed a swing guy, and that's what Donovan Haslam is going to be for the University of Tennessee, a guy that play guard, tackle, and can kind of give more options for the offensive line that is returning, all told, 5 guys of starting experience. So this better be the best offensive line that Glenn Ellerby's ever had. And he's had a couple good ones, but a lot of experience returning for Tennessee entering the 2026 season. And boy, whoever's playing quarterback is going to need it for sure. All right, so those are the 5 transfer portal additions that Tennessee reeled in on Saturday. It went bang, 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 bang. It went pretty quickly. A couple other guys that were on campus on Sunday, and maybe there'll be some news and notes throughout Sunday evening and night. If so, we'll play catch-up on Tuesday's show. But we talked about Ryan Staub, Colorado quarterback in segment 1. Cody Haddad, a safety that was a part of the 2025 signing class that didn't appear in any games last year, but obviously was recruited by Jim Knowles at Ohio State before Jim Knowles left for Penn State. Cody Haddad was on campus for Tennessee. I think he's really just kind of starting this process. And Tennessee was his first visit. Texas A&M, Nebraska, Iowa should be in that one as well. Brian Taylor Jr., this one's interesting because to my knowledge, he would have to win an appeal for another year of eligibility, but I'm not 100% certain on that. He played 2 years at JUCO, played his last 2 years at Florida. Tennessee fans probably know him, 6'4", 290, can play interior, can play exterior. He could be one of those edge guys, those bigger body guys, or shift inside and play tackle. A lot of SEC snaps, 284. This past year, in 2 years, 24 tackles, 3 TFLs, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 2 quarterback hurries in 12 games. That was actually this past fall. So Brian Taylor Jr., I think, is one that's very interesting from Florida. He was in on campus, and ultimately we'll see if he wants to commit to Tennessee. And then if so, well, what's that mean about his eligibility? And then Trent Thomas was in campus, of course, the tight end that we talked about. He actually committed to Tennessee on Saturday, but he took his actual visit on Sunday as well. So those are some guys who have been here on Sunday, and we'll see if there's anything to report from what happens after those visits here, and we'll play catch up on Tuesday. The last thing, I think, I had a checklist of about 17 different things I want to talk about today. Boy, frustrating loss. Tennessee falls 80-78 to Kentucky. Tennessee held a 17-point lead with about 3:25 left in the first half. Kentucky's scoring run never surpassed 7. They just kept chipping away and chipping away and chipping away. Man, how frustrating is this? And the ending was super frustrating. The turnover by Jacoby Gillespie there with 30 seconds left was a killer. It was awful. The tic-tac fouls, Nate Ament there in the last minute of the game. That was tough. The no call under the basket with Jalen Carey there at the very end before the brouhaha. That was tough. But again, I can't sit here and say Tennessee lost because of officiating. I would not say officiating was good in that game. Again, I think that the run on fouls the first 2 minutes of the second half really put Tennessee into a hole. But Tennessee had a 17-point lead at one point in this basketball game. No excuse. No excuse whatsoever. Also, I know a lot of people are frustrated with Nate Ament. I understand everybody expected Michael Jordan as a freshman coming in here or whatever just because everybody was talking about him, and he's still going to be a first-round draft pick, and he still could be a lottery draft pick. I get a lot of people are frustrated in that regard. But he is clearly your best offensive weapon. And the fact that he only shot it 7 times, he was 4-7 from the field. He was really good from the charity shot, made 8 of 9, but he was 4-7 from the field. He has got to shoot more. The offense ran through him the last 20 minutes of game action. Okay, you had the 2 overtimes in the last 10 minutes of the game against Texas A&M earlier in the week. The offense ran through him. He's got to shoot the basketball more. He's just got to. Jacoby Gillespie was really good in the first half. He went to the bench with 2 fouls in the first half, and he was never the same. He came out, he shot 2 of 6 from the field in the second half. He missed 2 critical free throws late in that basketball game, and the turnover there, just a careless pass with 30 seconds left that gave Kentucky the lead ultimately. Also, Kentucky dominated the boards in the second half. 12 offensive rebounds that turned into 15 second chance points. Again, officiating was not good, but you can't blame officiating for Tennessee blowing a 17-point lead and being careless with the basketball. That one stings. That one is frustrating, and that one hurts. And the slate's not getting any easier. We will see how Tennessee decides to move on from this one. It's got to move on. We'll see what Tennessee looks like moving forward this week. I think that's everything I hit on. There'll be tons of news after I get done recording this. But as always, appreciate you guys for being here and making Locked On Vols a part of your morning routine, your first listen, your first watch each and every single day. We'll continue to talk about the latest in Tennessee and the transfer portal, what's coming up next, plus the mailbag edition of the show. Get in your questions, comments, concerns, everydayers. This show is for you tomorrow. Give those in at _Cain or Anna Locked On Vols. And on the Everydayer Club Discord channel. Go check it out today. You never miss an episode. The Everydayer Club is built for you. Locked On Vols ad-free, plus members-only Discord access and more, where I will prioritize the mailbag questions. So go ahead and find the Locked On Vols channel in there. Submit your mailbag question for tomorrow's show. The custom link for that, again, is lockedonvols.supercast.com, lockedonvols.supercast.com. Just $5 a month, guys. $5 a month. You get access to national shows as well. Locked On Sports Today, the audio podcast. Members only Locked On merch store with exclusive gear. So you can get Locked On Vols apparel. 60% discount on additional Everydayer Club membership level subscriptions, because really it's just hard to pick one. I've been in the Discord channel, the group chat. I've been talking all weekend long. I encourage you to come in there, talk with me as well. I'll prioritize the mailbag questions from that Discord channel. $5 a month. Check it all out. I promise it's worth it. That is at lockedonvols.com, lockedonvols.supercast.com to join the Everydayer Club. All right, we will talk again on Tuesday, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Thanks so much for being here, and take it in another Locked On Vols.